This is episode 0016 of Gary's Glorious Golden Nuggets. And today we have Claudia-Maria Volz, a saleswoman from Germany who not only is a saleswoman, but a woman who has brought in millions of euros to the company she works for, selling very high ticket items. She also has an online presence. She has been in e-commerce for some time. She's now investigating how she wants to keep her online presence. She is a person who tonight we're going to be discussing some concepts that were originally brought forward by Napoleon Hill. She is a student of Bob Proctor, and he has honed them in a very interesting way. She's looking to becoming a qualified consultant of the Proctor, and I can't remember who his partner is, but their system. I'll let her tell you a little bit more about that. So let me welcome you to Gary's Glorious Golden Nuggets, Claudia.
Thank you very much for having me. Great pleasure.
It's a pleasure to have you. I just feel so honored. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you, number one, I'm a bit prejudiced because whenever I hear Claudia speak, my head tells me to shut up and listen. Get rid of everything I think I know because she will tell me something that I truly don't know yet. So our time here is going to be full of golden nuggets. I hope you brought your buckets to collect them along the way. Let's just begin. Tell me your thoughts on Napoleon Hill and the Bob Proctor approach.
It is the concept in general that I have been following him for Bob Proctor for a couple of years now, but just let's say the last year, all 2020, much more intensively. And I was thinking, what is it that he is teaching people? And, he brings everything across very easily. And I was just amazed when I learned that everybody has the ability to think big, to achieve goals. And I learned a lot about goal setting, how we can achieve it. And he is really, when he says something, whenever you watch a video, his focus and his target is to explain things so that a 10-year-old would understand, because it's easy, it's simple. It's not easy to follow the process, but it's simple.
I do like Proctor's approach. I will tell you that one of the first things I ever learned from Bob Proctor was the concept of everybody wants their children to go to university. Where I grew up in the United States, not all children went to university, chose to go do something else. I was listening to Bob Proctor on a tape, and he was talking about how his children all had gone off to university. He says, I changed the question everybody asks. They said, are you going to college? And he says, I changed it to, which college are you going to go to? And as soon as I changed the question, within a month or two, my children were telling me what schools they were actually thinking of going to. And so I knew Bob Proctor had hit gold on at least that topic. And I have followed him ever since.
Good.
So let's talk about, how do you employ the teachings of Bob Proctor in your success as a saleswoman of extremely high ticket items?
I learned from Bob that there is a reason why most people don't achieve goals. First of all, they set goals they are excited about a little bit, and then after a certain time it fizzles. They're not excited anymore. It's not driving them, and then it was a dream, okay, done. And the reason is that most people set themselves the wrong goals. We tend to set goals that we feel comfortable and we think we could achieve it. And I learned from Bob that our target is to grow. And we should set ourselves goals that are so high, they excite us, but on the same time, they scare us because they're so big. And he teaches us to just focus on that goal, use what we learn, and forget about the how is not our business. We have to focus on the goal and shut everything else out. And that's what I applied in my business, in my day job as a salesperson many times, and it works. So it would work for everybody.
So he's talking about goal setting and employing the law of attraction with it, which basically tells you, you need to know what it is you want. And then you have to have a big why do you want it? The rest will fall into place. Basically, is that where you're going?
A goal which is maybe not logical. Like when we are talking sales, logic seems to be better, 5% better, 8% better, 10% better than the year before, or something like that. But if we said, it can really sometimes be not really motivating because it's just a little bit more. And he inspires us to go for things that are not logical, completely illogical, like 400%, 500%. And you can really shock your executives with that. And you can, using what he's telling us. So we have these mental faculties. Let me just go over them. Like it's reason, it's memory, it's our will, it's imagination, our intuition, and so on. And nobody knows about that. And even worse, people don't know how to use them. And this is the only thing that really separates us from the animal. And for goal setting and for these high achieving ideas that I follow, I have to use two of them. One is my will. I really have to focus on a picture. And the number two is my imagination. I create an image in my head of the situation from the goal achieved. So we always think from the end. If I want to sell a certain amount, in my case, it's a certain amount, it was a numbers, a certain amount of number of machines. And then I just create, I get creative because we are very creative. We can build a colorful picture in our head. How would that look? The moment when the last order is coming in. So we're not focusing on our goal when we're starting, like we have 1 or 2 or 3 orders. That's not so motivating for us. We always go from the goal achieved. We see ourselves, and how very important is how we feel in that moment when we have the goal achieved. We try maybe 2 times, 3 times, 4 times per day, just 5 minutes to really have this picture being sunk into our subconscious. And we do this with our will and imagination.
Well, can you give us an example of a time when you set a goal that perhaps the company said, oh, don't go there. Don't do that. That's too big. Yeah. And how you got the end in mind and then worked to it.
It was in October last year, 2020, where I said that was the last goal that I set myself. And we are selling as a company 27, 28 different models. And I focused on one model. I said to my boss, I need a new goal, an internal challenge just with myself. And I said, I want to sell 10 of these machines by middle of December. And he was really shocked. He said, this is not possible. Don't go there. And he didn't want me to be demotivated or down when I can't reach it. But it was not, he said, go for 5. And it was just not motivating for me and not inspiring. And I said, I don't want that. And back and forth. And he was really concerned because what it can do to a salesperson. And after I said, okay, I go and think about it. And then I decided for myself, I don't do 10, I do 20. It is, you have to bring yourself into that vibration to just really make sure you are always have trust and you know it's there, you know it's coming. There is enough demand for these machines. We are selling globally. It's not just that we are focusing on one marketplace. There is enough. And when you put yourself into that vibration by being in a very positive mood and having always this picture in mind and suppressing it into your subconscious over and over again, also by writing out in the morning 50 times, in the evenings, just hold that energy. You attract, first of all, things because you get into a different vibration than if you would say, no, I can't do it. That's the energy, the vibration. And of course, you constantly ask yourself, what could it be? What could I do? It's not falling into your lap, but you get creative. Ideas come when you are walking, when you are watching or reading something, or when you are just driving in your cars. All of a sudden you get an idea because there is energy that's flowing into our consciousness every day. And we have the ability to think and use that. It's not that it's falling in the lab, so these 20 machines, but I did things that I didn't do before. Contacted people, made special offers, And I was contacted because I had this vibration.
So you see this as a very energetic approach. You set yourself such a high target that you can see the outcome. You
Yes.
clearly can see. Nobody else can. It doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks. You're there.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're doing activities to keep that vibration up. Writing out what the affirmation is or the goal each day, several times, focusing for a few minutes throughout the day.
Visualization.
Yeah, visualizing the outcome, where you're going to be, how it's going. Well, it's not the how, is it? It's all what.
While it's being completed, I never doubt it. It's not if, it's always just when and how do I feel in the moment when it's accomplished. And it is, you breathe it, you dream it, you are the goal. And if somebody says, well, but you can't do, listen, I don't care, I said to my boss, I said, it's there. They are already there. They just have to come in, I don't know, by email, by phone, and they have to be signed. They are there. And don't tell me, no, I will just not listen. And you get in a very relaxed state because you know it's there. It's there.
It's there. So you can clearly have a vision in your mind of this is it. I have no doubts on such and such a date. It's going to all be completed. Everything's going to be in line. This is how I'm going to celebrate. This is what I'm going to do. You've got it all figured out that way. And in the middle, you're finding yourself being hit with insights, creativities, ideas on how to make an offer. You're shampooing your hair and boom, an idea pops into your head, that kind of a thing, which I'm sure there are sales managers all across the planet right now saying, yes, why aren't my people doing that? But the truth of the matter is your sales manager didn't want you to do it.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And what I also learned is we allow our results dictate what we think. Maybe January was a bit difficult for some salespeople and the numbers were not good. And then they have this picture in mind, and that's the emotion and the feeling that they enter into February. No, we are the creator of our results.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask you this. COVID, was it affecting Germany in October, November, December of this year?
It was, of course, affecting Germany, yes, but I really tried to avoid thinking of it. I couldn't change it. I accepted it. I think I have not used that word 20 times. I'm sure I have.
Okay.
I'm just not using it. It's not that I deny or that I say, well, she's a dreamer. It's there. Of course it's there. But what good is it? Or what good does it bring to the company or to the people that I'm on the phone with when I start to fall into the same melody, it is.
So you set your own mindset. That was a word that didn't matter, because if something was locked down, something was locked down. If it wasn't, your end result was already set, was already fixed. You knew where the outcome was going to be. Yeah. And despite the fact of barriers being present, your possibility thinking took you beyond the barriers.
Exactly. Because the only limits that we have are the limits that we have in our mind. We can achieve anything. It's just that we are not educated and raised like that. As a child, you are open, your subconscious is wide open. You hear everything and you absorb everything. And that sinks in. And this is where our thought patterns are built and our self-image. I learned a lot about my self-image and how we can overcome that. That's another big benefit that Bob Proctor is teaching people. And, if you're 20, 30, 40 years in the job, everything has an influence. And we are raised and educated to go and to listen what we hear, to see what we see, to taste, all these 5 senses, to allow that, how we feel. But we have our own mental faculties and we can build our reality. It's not that we build it's not a dream world, it is reality. And I have been around people these are business people. These are not people who are not serious. They achieve business goals They are running around with suit and tie. It's not that they are dreamers and on drugs. They are not. And that's what really caught my attention.
And so the reality is, it's whatever you want it to be. That's reality.
It
And
is.
as you focus, reality begins to bend in shape towards you, just like the law of attraction promises. As you know, as it's a thought exercise. Your thinking leads you to opportunities, and you're just awake enough to see them when they drop.
Exactly.
And as you're picking up those golden nuggets, sales start coming in for you.
And I achieved the goal.
Yeah. What I want to know is, when you made the 10, what was the boss's reaction? And what happened when you had the 20?
So he said, we spoke again. I mean, every time when I went into his office and said, there's another one, exactly that model, he said, I don't know what you're doing. This is really amazing. And then I was close to the date that I set for myself. It was middle of December, and I think I had 13 or something. And then he said, well, okay, but it's okay now. Don't put too much pressure. It's good, you know, we can be satisfied. And I said, no, I'm not. I'm not done yet. I said 20. And it was really a magical moment, because the last machine came in from somebody that I didn't really know. They contacted me and they particularly asked for that machine. And that was on December the 30th came the last machine. So I accomplished it. And I saw in his face, and also in the face of the owner, that they changed. Because it was not the first time that I did it, but it was very, very high.
This time it was really significant, huh? It really, you know, there's no
But
way
you
this
have-
could have been a fluke. You know, this really
No,
worked. Yeah.
no, it's not just the focus. You really have to, you need any goal that you set for yourself.
Mhm.
There are only two things that you have to be clear in upfront. Do you really want it? Whatever it is, in business or in your personal life. And are you willing to do what needs to be done to achieve it? You know, it's not oh, that would be nice to have. Focus.
So really, learning to focus is the beginning of a superpower that anybody can have. So how did you learn to focus?
I was struggling, believe me. And I was also struggling with meditation, because I was saying to myself, I have difficulties to meditate. I really have difficulties to meditate. So, and what is the universe doing? Yeah, okay, difficulties to meditate. So you get what you ask for. And here again, change the question or change your point of view. It's easy. It's easy for me to meditate. And the same was the process of visualization. When I closed the eyes, I couldn't see any colors. I was talking to other people doing it, and they said, you know, it's now it's purple, and now it's lavender blue, and now it's not. It's black and white. But this gets better. The most important thing is that you learn to feel. How does it feel? It feels good. And when you have achieved what you're trying to manifest, let it be a car for a man, a Porsche or something. How does that feel? Close your eyes and see yourself in that car, and the sunshine, the warm sunshine, and the wind in the hair, and the radio and the music, and the sound, and whatsoever. Just really make it lively. And wow, this is your car. And the more you will get there, it's the universe will bring opportunities to you, and you will get that car if you really want it.
So it doesn't matter what it is. It's just that you have to want that. And you have to be specific. That's what I want. You wanted 20 sales. Somebody wants this Mercedes. It doesn't really matter. They have to know exactly what they want. And then they have to know the why. And the why has to be huge.
The why has to be huge, yes.
And you meditate, you focus your mind, you do the constant reminding to get yourself into that vibration, to get that feeling that
Mhm.
feeling of I've
Yes.
achieved it.
Yes, exactly. The feeling from the moment when you have achieved the goal, the end result. And you can learn to focus. For example, Bob teaches people to look into a candle, like place it on the opposite side of the table and look into the candle. And some people cannot even concentrate for a second. Their mind will wander, like same in meditation. Gently bring it back, and just look into that light of the candle until you are one with it, or put a dot on the wall, and so nobody will see it. I mean, of course, if you're not really engaging in a conversation and looking somewhere else, they will see it, but do it when you have a few minutes. Do it 2-3 times a day. The thing is, people don't do that. They say, well, why should I now look at the candle? And I can concentrate anyway. I was struggling really in the beginning. I couldn't concentrate. My mind was all over. But once you find a way to hold that picture on the screen of your mind, lively, colorful, with sound, or even maybe with a fragrance, I don't know, a perfume or a candle or something that inspires you. Once you are able to hold that picture in front of your mind for 5 minutes, that's awesome. That's really awesome.
That's the secret of winning right there. That's just the secret of winning. You know, when you go and watch these Olympic athletes, like the ice skaters, before they get on the ice, you can see them going through this arm waving and moving, and like they're just doing a little dance standing there, but they're rehearsing their performance in their mind to such perfection that their body will just follow when it comes time to do the performance.
Exactly.
And so it's all a mind game. Wow. Claudia, you're just amazing. I just love the things that you are spewing out, because it's like pure gold. It's just everything's gold. So here's the thing. I give everybody 2 minutes to tell the world whatever's on their heart, whatever message they would like to give. And I want to give you your 2 minutes now.
That's great. That's great. Everything that I talked about, everybody can do it. It works for anything and for anybody. It doesn't matter their goal, whatever they want to achieve, they can achieve. We are just not educated like that. We are raised to go whatever we hear and see, smell, taste, and touch. That's it. But we are not raised to create, to fantasize, because in the end, this is a fantasy. In the beginning, My 20 Machines, that was a fantasy because everybody said, she's crazy. It's illogical. And once, you know, when you're a child, you are allowed to fantasize, but then you go to school and people say, Gary, would you please shut up or stop looking out of the window and you're daydreaming, and they cut your wings. But you can relearn that. It's not over. Anybody can do, be it 30 years of age or 50 or 60, 80 years of age, it doesn't matter. Anybody can learn that. But who is willing to do what needs to be done? Writing 50 times a certain sentence in the morning to reprogram you again, to do this visualization, and not just on Monday and then again on Friday. If you do it regularly and if you really want it, you can achieve any goal that you set for yourself. Anybody can do it. It's amazing. To have this information at hand helped me to achieve many goals, and there are more to come because it's so much fun, and it helped me to overcome difficult situations, like in the moment where we're all in 2020, early 21. It's just not affecting me because I'm the creator of my own ideas and own economy in the end. That might be interesting for online entrepreneurs. You are the creator of your own economy.
That's right. If you're an entrepreneur, you're responsible. That's all there is to it. If you can do it or can't do it, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow. Thank you so much, Claudia. This has been
hours.
This has been one of the best 30 minutes of my life. And so I thank you profusely. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe, Please share with somebody you know would appreciate it. If you're not an entrepreneur or you want to be an entrepreneur, the ticket is open because anybody can do it. Just get your mind focused. The law of attraction works. That's our testimony today. So we'll catch you on the next show in March. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.